Hi, I'm Michelina, and I'm an artist. My main focus is expressing emotion through landscape painting. The following is an excerpt from my Instagram Live studio tour. This is part 1, my studio. So here is my studio. It's a small room, but it works for me. And I like to have my artwork on the wall as inspiration. It's on the second floor of my home. And I like to keep it neat and organized so that I can find everything and everything's within reach. Advantages to having a home studio. Number 1, there's no commute, which I love. And number 2, it's very affordable. So I'm not paying extra rent for a separate space. So that's very advantageous. Disadvantages. I can get easily distracted working from home. There's always something to do around the house and it can take you away from your studio time. So what I've done to combat that is make myself a schedule. So I find that I'm most productive in the mornings. So that's my studio time. I'll schedule myself in to be in the morning. My family knows that, so when they see that the studio door is closed, they're not to disturb me, and it works out well. Okay, so I'm going to go through each little section of my studio. Here's the shelf that I have all my equipment, supplies that I use. So as you can see, I have quite a collection of brushes. And right now my favorite kind of brushes are these bristle brushes. I really like how they, the texture that they produce on the canvas. So I'm really into those right now. Then over here I have my little toolkit. So I have all different kinds of palettes. This is the one that I use the most. It's very versatile. So I'll use this to mix my colors and sometimes put them right on the canvas as well. And then down here, I have my gesso. So this is what you use to prime the canvas so that the paint has something to stick to. And then I also have some mediums, which you add directly to the paint to get different effects. So some of them will thin out the paint and others will thicken it, so you get that texture. And then here I have my palettes. I use disposable palette, it's just easier. And I have some more logbooks and paper and various sketchbooks and other artist materials. This is everything I need for wiring and hanging the painting once it's finished. And then in these 2 baskets, you're gonna think I'm a paint hoarder, but you know, artists collect things. They collect paints and brushes. So here is where I store the paint that I don't use that often, or they're duplicates of paint that I do use more often, and it's like I stockpile it and that goes in there. And then down here on the lower shelf, I have my varnishes, and this is a nice wooden box that I've had for many, many years, and I can pack it up and take my art supplies with me when I travel. Okay, and here is the window in my studio, and that's the view of my backyard. And behind there is a park. So I've had a lot of inspiration lately looking out my window. And here's my painting desk. So here's the disposable palette I was mentioning. So that goes there. And then this is a nice artist hack. So when I'm painting and I'm in between colors, instead of putting my paintbrush down, which inevitably rolls into the paint and gets covered in paint, I'll just rest it into this bottle, and it works really well. Okay, so here's my paint tray, and believe it or not, it's organized by color. I know it looks pretty messy, but it is organized. And so these are the colors that I use most often. And then this here I call my on-deck tray. So when I'm using the paints in the moment, they go in here. And then I have them, they're easy access, and I can find them right away. Okay, and then here I have my little stool and my easel. Here I have a closet for storage. So I have some canvases, blank canvases. A lot of my studies are stored here, and then also some finished paintings. And then on the other side, I have a collection of my art books. That's my storage. So that's my studio tour. Thank you so much for joining me today. Bye.